There we are. We are live, an early edition of TigerBait Live tonight's LSU spring football practice eve, early morning tomorrow. Thought it was odd back in January when we were hearing about walk-ons trying to get into the program and being told that they needed to schedule classes where their first class didn't start before 11 or 11:30 in the morning. And sure enough, the hunch was right. They're going to practice in the mornings during the spring. So something different we've never seen. So that means you're going to get practice reports early and Brian Kelly by midday tomorrow. And so we got that to talk about. LSU baseball continues to roll. The roster just came out. Buddy was going through it before we went live. We can talk about some of the number changes, heights, weights. And we're going to find out Sunday Kim Mulkey's seed for the NCAA tournament. Are they a 2? Are they a 3? The 4-point drop in the AP poll this week. Are they setting the stage to pull the rug out and give LSU a 3 seed? What does that mean? And what else we got? Will Wade, possible little McNeese. Sure seems like that's a done deal. How early does that take place? And so we got a lot to discuss tonight. Did I miss something? I know I missed something.
Yeah, you missed something, but
we got men's basketball at 8 o'clock.
And that's why we moved up the show. Hey, look, you can tell I hadn't been here in a couple of weeks. We are all multitasking on this Wednesday night. This will be the final Wednesday night that we do have collision with basketball. They will play right after Ole Miss and South Carolina. We were watching that game a little bit earlier. Of course, somewhere in the 8:25 to 8:30 range. Mike probably thinks it's the last game of the year. And you know what? So be it. It's not that bad a deal. I think most people are ready to bury this puppy. But you'd like to see them finish some games. They had double-digit leads the last 2 games and could not come back and finish it, Mike. Missouri was a big lead. And then, of course, Florida, they were big double digits on the road. And so that baseball early 2-0 lead, we'll get updates on that. Roster out. It's a great time to be a Tiger fan.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's one of these deals where it's painful to watch the LSU men's basketball team. And then all of Matt McMahon's press conferences post-game, and it's like this. It goes like this every time. Thank you, Kent. And then he starts talking, and I feel sorry for him. He didn't want this season to go that way. And but he's got a lot of work to do the offseason.
But I will tell you some of the impact that I've got, and not that the fans are going to tell a coach how to act or be as an LSU coach that everybody sees, but damn, he's got to get a little more spicy. Now, I think this is one of the things that everybody just loved about Will Wade. Bring it on, Kentucky. Bring it on, Calipari. Bring it on, all you son of a guns that want a piece
and Buddy,
of me.
you have to have that for the football school.
That's
exactly,
Dale Brown. Exactly. You cannot be vanilla ice cream and mild and bland and, nothing's going to change or whatever. I finally saw him get the red ass at Adam Miller because they had a big lead, and Adam Miller and of course, Cam Hayes couldn't not turn it over, and so they blew a big lead quickly. But show some fire. People want to know that you're invested in this gig. We've said it 100 times. NIL, transfer portal, and keeping what 4 or 5 players that he wants to come back.
How much is that? How much of it him not showing that fire, that passion, or really lightening the players is partially because he's afraid that he'll lose them for good. Some people say, well, what does it matter? They're terrible. But is it a deal where he just doesn't want to ride them too hard because he knows that they're limited, he knows what they are and what they're not, and it's, you want to coach them to get the best out of them, but their best isn't enough.
Does Nick Saban kick people's butt? Does Brian Kelly discipline? The difference is those guys are winners. I think you make a great point. Until Matt McMahon brings some W's to the column, it's juggling. But look, I think all college athletes want discipline.
But look,
and they've been undisciplined.
LSU fans have shown with what Skip did in baseball and what's happened in gymnastics, what's happened at beach volleyball, what's happening in baseball again, what Kim Mulkey has done in women's basketball. If you've got an energetic, high-personality coach that builds it and builds a winner, the fans are going to show up. And they do it at LSU in every sport. even the sports that people just say no way. At LSU, they support it. I mean, you have the beach volleyball coach on. I bet he's got crowds that's as good as anybody in the country.
Very, very loyal following. Now, I will say this. Dennis Shaver, for all the championships and all the years, he's got a track crowd. We never talk about it because nobody ever says, did you see what they ran the 100 meters in the other day? But that all being said, look, and we're not trying to tell Matt McMahon how to act. He's got to be himself.
But
it does make a difference when you see him let that team do the same thing, which is why a lot of people are ready to shut the door on this season.
But, when
they're going to win tonight.
When the actual attendance for the South Carolina game was barely over 2,000, you got a problem.
Yeah, there's no doubt. You can't have that any more 2 years. But, look, that's the bottom of the ladder. What happened with Kim Mulkey and the Lady Tigers? Look, when she said after the first win, well, I've always said this tournament, if you're a 1 or a 2 or a 3 seed already, there's not a lot of positives. You wear on your team. The legs are already tired. You risk injury. Nobody was going to beat Carolina in the SEC tournament. I think it works out. I'm not saying they lost on purpose. I'm just saying that they were not that unhappy to get an extra game off and get back here and rest. And then, of course, football, we know that there are 7 guys that are out and 2 that are going to do drills but no contact. So we'll give you all those updates in tonight's show.
Big day tomorrow. First day of spring football. Looking at that football roster before we went live, Buddy was looking at some of the number changes and heights and weights. We got Jaden Daniels listed at 6'4", 205. Is that accurate? The 205?
Yeah, that's what they've got him listed at right now. He grew an inch and gained 5 pounds. That was incredible last year when he showed up. He got here 3 days before last spring, and I think March 26th was last spring. So he wasn't even here a year, believe it or not. But he was listed at 180, 185, and he picked up 15, so now at 205, and I think people will see. I didn't really tell much difference, but I guess it's all upper body.
I saw that video he did. What's that YouTube channel guy? He looked like he put some weight on.
Yeah.
6-0 LSU over Lamar, bottom of the second, and so LSU's laying the wood already. So, look at this. Cruz singing up the middle, White homer down the right field line. Cruz scored, Morgan scored. And so they're laying the wood again. We're ready for some competition.
Tommy White, yeah, no doubt. I made a parallel. I hope the LSU baseball schedule is not similar to what Coach Mulkey did in year 2 with the women's schedule. But Tommy White, if he homers again to right field, this is the 3rd consecutive home run to right field. Dylan Cruz goes opposite. It's amazing. We talked about how many home runs. He is just rounding in after being injured.
All right, let's hit, of course, with the show. Pride Roofing. We couldn't do it without them each and every week, the official roofing company of TigerBait.com. We'll talk about them a little bit later. Again, if you're enjoying the show, please hit that like button on YouTube. Doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps us with the algorithm. And if you're not already a subscriber to our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, notification bell. You're really going to want that tomorrow because when we do our practice report, which is everybody loves our post-practice reports, Buddy and I will be out there. We'll go for about 10 to 15 minutes talking about what we saw tomorrow. 7:55, they're going to let us in is the time we're told. We'll get Brian Kelly, I guess around 10 it says. And we're going to have practice footage, Buddy and I's practice report, photo galleries, and a lot more on TigerBait. But that's why you really want to hit that notification bell, because as soon as that stuff hits the YouTube, you'll get an alert as soon as it rolls. And again, it's brought to you by the Smokey Investment Team. And I see Bart Smokey here in the chat, and we're thankful that Bart and his great group at the Smokey Investment Team in Alexandria are with us again for another spring of football practice reports.
Hey, by the way, if you see a really smooth, good-looking linebacker wearing number 4 and you say, who is that? Well, that is Harold Perkins. Now, let me tell you what I like about NIL. So the girlfriend's grandkids are big Harold Perkins fan. This is what I think NIL should be. I got them each a T-shirt, all right? And they're going to be wearing that this football season. And that, to me, is where NIL should work, Mike. You go buy a jersey, you go buy a T-shirt or whatever, and you can go to Perkins' site and get all of that. But, man, number 4, Maybe he didn't like the comparisons of Devin White when he wore 40 at LSU, but one of the interesting stories, we'll ask Matt House, how will you use him? Not that they're going to tell us too much early, but on the outside as well as in the middle as the spy route linebacker, and a lot of new numbers. Omar Spates, the inside backer, come from Oregon State, wearing number 1. Aaron Anderson, who won't be out there, also wearing number 1. We'll give you updates throughout the show on numbers, heights, and weights.
So Harold Perkin goes to 4. Who got 40? Let's see.
40.
Whit Weeks.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Whit Weeks is 40.
Wes Weeks' brother is a junior and wearing 33. And Whit Weeks, oh, by the way, you saw his weight. They listed him at about 217.
I can't wait to see him.
Yeah, they tell me he really has the nose for the football.
All right, let's see. Holden Lee with a good evening, fellas. Glad to have you with us. Terrell Walker, what's going on, guys? Dialed in from Millington, Tennessee, but born and raised on the West Bank. Glad to have you with us, Terrell. Gary Williams, what's up, guys? Josh Sibley, Butler, with us every week. Love him. It's hard to judge a coach when players are not good. Talking about Matt McMahon. And Bart's giving the scores 3-0, 6-0, and I think that's where we're still at. Holden Lee, this Lamar team was 10-2. They beat A&M, so that's impressive to be up huge already. Yeah, there's no where you get to LSU on a Tuesday and the midweek pitching it in there. They've got it all.
Christian Little got to start. He's been phenomenal as the closer. I think they probably mentioned it. I don't know if they'll admit this, but when he's coming over from Vandy, he probably said, look, we'll give you an opportunity to start. This is a great thing about Wes Johnson. He will go down. I don't know how long Wes Johnson will be here, but trust me, he will go down as a big-time difference maker. And Thatcher Hurd said it. He's the best pitching coach on the planet. You're going to see big-time benefits with Jay Johnson getting Wes on that staff in year 2.
Ty Davis says Brian Kelly is ranked number 5 best coach by 247 Sports. Is that the poll we talked about on your show? I agree with that poll, except I don't care if Kirby Smart wins a 3rd national title this year, which the schedule sets up for him. I still would not put him ahead of Saban, and I do disagree with Harbaugh ahead of Kelly.
These things are thrown
But the rest
out.
of it, I think I agreed with.
But it's all for clicks. You know that. I mean, come on. Look, it's year to year. Whether you rank 5th or whether you rank 19th or whether you rank 1st, your team wants you to win a national championship. And, of course, interesting scuttlebutt with Kelly embracing the 3 constant opponents and Nick Saban. Can you believe Nick Saban playing the role of Pontius Pilate and washing his hands? Of the 3 they want to give Alabama, oh, Coach Saban, we miss that whining in Baton Rouge. Oh, by the way, congratulations on all those natties. You agree with me? He wins one more and he's gone.
He's got a lot of sanctimony with him, doesn't he?
But look, if he wins one more, you think he's done?
I think he'll go to he's 137 years old.
God only knows, but health will be an issue. Brian Kelly, obviously, in year 2, high expectations from the fan base.
John Sibley Butler, LSU's Texas swing was big. The Tigers have an excellent baseball team. I mean, it's like you keep looking to see where there's some serious chinks in the armor. I mean, everybody was seizing on the strikeouts a couple of weeks ago, and then when you hear Jay Johnson's explanation for some of it, and that's what I love about Jay Johnson's press conferences. I mean, you really learn some baseball. For a guy like me who's not the biggest, knows the ins and outs of baseball as good as most. You listen to a Jay Johnson press conference and he's going to educate you.
Hey, a little tidbit some of you may have picked up, some of you may have missed. Jay Johnson's daddy was a football coach. Mike, everybody knows they're shortening the game, and there are very quick procedures when you're on the mound and getting into the batter's box. And there's been players called on LSU's team out as well as the opponent. But Jay Johnson gets 3 timeouts, and he definitely, Texas had a reliever. He was mowing him down. He called a couple timeouts, got the guy all out of rhythm. Jay Johnson knows a little bit about coaching. I can't wait to see how this unfolds.
The angles that he's looking at.
He knows what he's doing. And look, folks, at A&M next weekend, not this weekend, but the next, hosting Arkansas and, of course,
the stuff that he's
Tennessee.
doing in a baseball game tonight is him thinking about a future game somewhere else.
He's very good. But look, I loved it because he took the tempo away from that Texas reliever. You know how it is. You get in the rhythm and you want to go fast. And did a great job with that. Of course, Gavin Dubach with the 3-run bomb to beat Texas 3-0. And I had a lot of LSU fans that told me they had a good crowd, 500 or more, at that stadium.
Barry Barbier, Cruz, White, Beloso, Murderers Row. Todd Davis, Kelly's behind Saban, Smart, and Harbaugh. I would put him behind Saban and Smart, but I wouldn't have him behind Harbaugh. Kenny Futch, good evening, Mike and Buddy. Glad to have you with us, Kenny. Don Wheat, how many LSU men's basketball players leave after the season? I think we've had that poll.
Well, the question is how many are coming back?
Yeah, I've had that. The results of our poll on the front page of TigerBait, which has been up since February 24th. I said the over and under on how many new names on LSU's basketball roster for next year. And 38% say 8, 30% say 9. So 8 or 9 is the getting the most votes.
That's getting 4 or 5 back. So that's about right.
Yep.
Denver Harris, by the way, going to get a look-see at cornerback. Denver going to wear number 10 as an LSU Tiger, listed at 6 foot, 183. And, Mike, that is something that I will certainly focus in on day one. If it is feasible, sometimes we're far away from where they let us go. But, man, we got to watch the battles at cornerback this spring.
Paul Escon, pretty big crowd at the box for a Wednesday versus Lamar.
All right, PFM.
I'm still 6-0 LSU, top of the third. And so, yeah, guys, hit us with some more questions. I think I've exhausted them all. Obviously, a lot of people are watching baseball and trying to do both at the same time. I think a lot of people are going to view this show after it's aired. But we wanted to go at 7 o'clock tonight, so we didn't go up against the basketball team. And then Buddy and I will be able to multitask with both the baseball and basketball after the show.
Garrett Nussmeyer still wearing 13, listed at 6'1", 202 this year. Interesting to see what he gets out of spring. I have this theory that nobody wants to listen to, but I do think watching in that bowl game, and I understand the competition with Purdue was lacking, but, man, not knowing when Nussmeyer is going to come in and giving him an opportunity to show what he can do. It's a different game. You got to defend LSU differently with those two quarterbacks. And then Ricky Collins, wearing number 10, listed at 195. What do you expect him to get in the spring? Just kind of familiarity with the offense, the playbook, and that stuff?
Yeah, but he's going to get a lot more reps than Walker Howard got last year because you had Miles Brennan but it probably will end up being the same number. You've got some walk-ons. Sloan's going to want to divvy that up the right way. Bart Smokey, hearing Bo Boron going to try center. That might not be a bad spot for him.
I heard that he was getting some reps at center. They were talking about that. Marlon Martinez will probably be at center. Of course, Turner is out for the spring, so that is going to be an ongoing battle. Paul Mubinga, they beat Michigan for him. He's another guy they'll look at center.
I really like the direction of offensive line recruiting under Brian Kelly and Brad Davis. The number of names that are showing high interest in LSU. Got a story up on the site right now on Walt Claire Flynn Jr. coming in this weekend. I've got an ongoing list of recruits that'll be there this weekend. It's after an impressive group last week, which I've got a story that I'm going to have up hopefully by 10 o'clock tonight. I reached out to all the recruits that were there this past weekend, and I've got a nice compilation piece where I've got reactions on how those visits went. I'm going to put all that together, and that'll be on TigerBait.com. I hope to have it out before 10 o'clock tonight. I've been running late with that one. We got a lot of recruiting stuff on the front page of TigerBait, other stuff on our Tiger Den Premium message board. If you're not already a subscriber to TigerBait, you're going to want to check that out. Try us out for $1. You're going to get all our premium practice report info that we're going to put on the message board, our practice video, which is second to none, and we'll have all that on TigerBait.com in the coming days. So try us out for $1 if you're not already a premium subscriber to TigerBait. I think you'll really enjoy the website, and of course, brought to you by Pride Roofing. And let's go ahead and hear from Mike and Alex.
Hi, I'm Michael.
I'm Alex.
At Pride Roofing, we handle commercial and residential work.
TPO, shingle, and metal inventory.
We got it. Property still in disarray from the recent hurricanes and hailstorms. Insurance claims?
No problem. But you know Pride Roofing is the official roofer at TigerBait.com.
In fact, notify TigerBait and we'll give you a free roof inspection. And on top of that, you get a free year subscription. Call 855-PRIDE-16. Se habla Espanol.
There you go, Mike Faraday and Alex Martinez with Pride Roofing, and of course the official roofing company of TigerBait.com. Call them at 855-PRIDE-16. Tell them you heard about them on TigerBait. They're going to pay for you to have free TigerBait Premium for 1 year. You can't beat it. They pay the bill, and a lot of people have jumped on that. And it's not just for residential. If your business needs a roof, and any type of roof, metal, shingles, whatever, they handle it. And they're the best in the business right here in Albany, Louisiana. Mike Faraday, an LSU grad, and anywhere in South Louisiana, all the way up to Jackson, Mississippi, Gulf Coast. They've got you covered at Pride Roofing.
And they care. We talk about it each and every week. Of course, Mike and Alex have been phenomenal, and they give back to the community. Look, not just commercial and residential, but metal roofs are very hot. Mike continues to want to make sure all of you know, with the acquisition of Crown Metals, it has totally changed the metal roofing business. Give them a call, 1-855-PRIDE-16 in Baton Rouge. Jorge Martinez running our Government Street location here locally, 275-2041. All the materials, they get there quick. They do their business. They're done. PFM and many others have done business with them. We'll sharpen the pencil on a competitive price deal. All we say is give them an opportunity. You will not be disappointed, and you will take great pride. I'm not going to hit the sign over tonight, but you'll take great pride in the job they do. And look, we all know the way you advertise nowadays is people talk about them, but also how you deal with people, and that's what makes them so special.
Absolutely. Kenny Futch says, excited for LSU spring football starting tomorrow. We are too. I'm enjoying the fact that it's early. The weather's been fantastic, and but it's a lot to juggle. You got baseball season. Kim Mulkey is going to find out I think she's going to have a nice crowd Sunday night for that viewing party for the selection show. I just hope the NCAA doesn't do her dirty and give her a 3 seed. She absolutely, that team did the work, and I don't care what their December schedule was. I think they're downplaying the strength of the SEC. And I think they're deserving of it too.
Don't ever tell Brian Kelly, as he has come to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, as the coach of LSU, that they don't grow big uglies in South Louisiana. LSU put out a video this afternoon, and two of the guys that are vocal leaders, number 66, still can't believe Rouse's and Campbell's Soup hadn't done an NIL deal with Will Campbell. Him and his mama eating some chunky Campbell's Soup. 6'6", 3 1/4, and number 50, Emory Jones, 6'6", 3 1/4. They're so tight they even weigh and are the same height and weight. Look for 66 and 50, and whoa, is that going to be interesting to see what happens at center and how quickly Lance Hurd gets in. But those two guys coming back as sophomores, you can tell already on some of the footage, they're going to be two vocal leaders. Can you believe the offensive lineman from Louisiana that Kelly has Campbell, Jones, and Hurd? That's a hell of a trio.
Absolutely.
In his first 2 years from Louisiana, the state of Louisiana.
Bart Smokey, does Jacoby and Guillory start at nose tackle?
Well, you know, both the defensive tackles are out for the spring. Makai Wingo is out for the whole spring, and Mason.
He's got a real opportunity.
He's got an
It's time.
opportunity, and I think he's got his weight down. I want to say, I don't want to quote it, but it was 3-something, 320-ish, or maybe even less than that. I'll pull it up. But, yeah, I want to see what the big man can do. It's his opportunity.
Yeah, John Sibley Butler, going back to baseball, he says that the Texas baseball crowd was rocking, and the home run was like 3rd and 17 during the 2019 football game. I was there.
Boy, that's a great parallel, you know.
We had somebody bring that up on our message board that within 24 hours of that, too, made the same.
Well, the only difference, of course, is the difference in the crowd and obviously the TV rankings. But
in fact, it was Tiger Shark that did.
Okay. Speaking of Jacobian Gilry, what's his listed weight?
Kenny Futch, glad Mason Lunsford is a Tiger.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah,
talk
that
about
you know
him.
that's I thought that was in fact I was on Bart Smokey's show, Tiger Talk in Alexandria Monday night, and he asked that question, and I said, man, that's kind of a hard sell because a guy that's of course, but he's got 2 years. I thought I was thinking he had one. He's got 2 years of eligibility left, so I was kind of like a guy who's a grad transfer. He's wanting to go somewhere and start. And so, but obviously ties to Denbrock at Maryland, knows him. And look, that's a nice get.
Finishing the semester over at
Play guard and
Maryland.
tackle. He started both.
Coming in June. 6'7", 305. By the way, Jacobian Gilry, 6'2", 320. And look, he was 330, 340 a couple of years ago. So I think he's got his body.
He's one of those guys that's I want him to break through.
He's one of the good guys you pull for. In case you missed it, Jaden Daniels has grown an inch and picked up 5 pounds. LSU listing him 6'4", 205. I don't know if you picked this up because you've been having a lot of stuff going on, like all of us. But the NFL kind of threw a little barb at Alabama and said, hey, you guys lie on some of these heights and weights. And, look, everybody, for years, Moffitt would give us legitimate weights. And then, of course, at the end, some coaches want to hide it. But Kevin Mawai was 6'4", 244 at LSU until he graduated. And then he was 290-something. But I like it when we get legitimate heights and weights. You and I did not think.
You're bringing up numbers. We haven't discussed Keyshawn Butte.
Right.
How bad did he hurt himself?
You only need one team to fall in love with you, but I think he is that guy that is going to have to answer a lot of questions. He needs a very, very good pro day at LSU in about 3 weeks.
I think when you combine that, and when they start doing digging about other things, character off the field, etc., I mean, he could have hurt himself.
There's no doubt. There's
he
no
could
doubt.
end up being a third rounder.
But I think it's the best situation for everybody, to be honest with you. I think that, he was coming back and then he got suspended for the bowl game and then decided to go. I think it's best for everybody to move on. Oh, by the way, Jaylen Brown, who had a good summer, scored a touchdown in one of those All-Star games. We're going to talk about him a little bit. Devonta Smith, the A-Meat, got away, and we all know what
Trey
he's
Palmer
done.
with that 40-time.
No, but Smith is similar size to Jaylen Brown. I sure hope that kid is one of those little bitty guys that's super quick but plays bigger than his body shows you.
Kenny Futch says that Lunsford didn't give up a sack in 22 at Maryland.
Yeah. He could get a look-see at center, and we know he could get a look-see at guard.
Guys, hit that like button if you're enjoying the show. Always appreciate you guys doing that. It helps us with the YouTube algorithm. And again, if you're not already a subscriber, and I look at our back end analytics on our YouTube channel, and about 50% of y'all are subscribers to the channel, and the other 50% of the viewers are not. Hit that subscribe button and notification bell, especially with what's going to be starting tomorrow. You're going to get alerts if you hit that notification bell. As soon as our practice report from the morning rolls in, which it's going to be the same policy as last year under Brian Kelly. We can't post our report and let it go live until practice is over. But as soon as it's over, it's going to be loaded in the system. And I'm going to hit a button, and you'll get it. It'll be in the system. So hit the subscribe button, notification bell for that.
Mason Taylor cleaning up a shoulder surgery. He won't be out there. Markway and Jackson McGowan will be out there, so we'll be watching their progress.
Can't wait to see Markway.
And Markway is listed in the 243 range. Look, this is going to be a position that gets better and better. You already have Galloway coming in for the 24 class. I think it's obvious. Look, if you utilize the tight end like Georgia and Alabama and some of the other teams, it can be a hell of a weapon. You
going to the PMAC for the view party Sunday night?
That would be a negative. I'll get all the feedback.
You ought to go to that.
I'll get some feedback.
I'll pick you up. You ought to go.
I'll get some feedback. Look, man, by Sunday, I'm just trying to chill by 7 o'clock.
I think that's going to be a little bit of fun. But how much of a downer is it? Do you think there's any chance Smokey might get a little spicy if she's a 3?
Well, I think she's smart enough to know that whether you're 2 or 3, you just got to go one game at a time. And I think you and I both agreed that they're going to win 2 games in the Pete Maravich Assembly Center and hopefully in front of a sellout crowd, at least one of those 2 games, and make it to Sweet 16. And after that, just how you play and who's shooting the ball from the outside and what team.
I'm telling you guys, if you haven't been to a game, it doesn't matter. Get them now. As soon as they announce the bracket, you want to get tickets to those games. That was as fun as could be last year, especially that Jackson State game.
By the way, Jackson McGowan wearing number 83 tomorrow, Markway wearing 84. If you see those guys on the film, McGowan 83, Markway 84.
LA Mom says she's baking cookies and listening to these guys, and what do you know? I see 2 of my favorite PHL peeps. Is that petroleum helicopters? What's PHL?
Well, we say hello, Mom, and
what
God
kind of
bless
cookies?
you for making great cookies.
I'll take some oatmeal and raisin, but I will admit I ate a whole sleeve of Thin Mints this afternoon.
I gave up sugar for Lent, so don't make me have a venial sin.
Yeah,
but I'm sure they're good, Mom. Where's Nurse Court tonight? Oh, my goodness. If she is AWOL, Court?
She was in here earlier, I think.
Oh, okay. Look, I had about 10 people text me, and I apologize because you and I didn't get this, but we really do hope that we're all going to get together at some point for football season, and we're working on the food, and we're working on all the things, so hopefully that can happen sometime in 2023.
Kenny Futch says he thinks he might be at the PMAC this Sunday evening. Kenny lives right off near campus. He ain't far. He let me park at his in one of his spots for Garth Brooks, and I'm appreciative.
Fitzgerald West, by the way, is listed on this. I thought we were going to see him at offensive line, but he's listed at, offensive line, 6'2", 300. Redshirt freshman.
They're listing him on the OL?
Yeah, listing him on the OL. So I would imagine he's probably, all those defensive transfer portal guys like Jalen Lee and Jordan Jefferson, all that, probably put him and give him a little opportunity.
I think Fitzgerald's got a chance at center.
You might see him tomorrow once again at center.
He is a hard worker, competitive, and highly intelligent.
And look, he's appreciably down. He was over 300 last year.
Yep. Chance Babbitt, how many recruits are visiting this weekend? Don't have a total number, but it's going to be big. I've got a list on the website right now, and it's not near what they're going to have. I'm going to be adding names to it as we get them. Been texting a bunch of people. You got a 7-on-7 tournament down in New Orleans, so you're going to have a lot of kids that roll in to visit that not necessarily going to be guys that get offers, but they're going to have a revolving door for three or 4 days. And so Colin Hurley's been in town since yesterday, and what an ambassador he is.
Man, I tell you, look, that minimized the loss of Walker to Ole Miss, I think. Nobody can project, but I think as far as, and we've done quarterback interviews for many years. I mean, for the longest, Russell Shepard was up there.
Joe Sloan's tearing it up in recruiting, by the way.
But I'm saying, what an incredible smart kid and humility, tearing it up. He is going to be highly ranked by the time they get through him with this year.
Yeah. Bryce Underwood in from Michigan this past weekend.
Yeah.
I told that visit went extremely well. Class of 25 quarterback. That's impressive that Joe Sloan and Brian Kelly and Bobby and all those guys in the building getting those quality quarterbacks to get him in early, because it's all about relationships. He's got to have relationships starting getting built with 26 right around the corner. So,
Savion Jones, by the way, I think this is his breakout year. 6'6", 268 pounds, a junior, number 35. I think he's got a chance to lead LSU in sacks. Now, we don't know what Perkins, how often they're going to let him free, because if they rush him enough, he'll lead the team in sacks. But I think Savion Jones, this is his money year, Mike. He's a full man now. What did he come in at? About 245, 266. He doesn't have an ounce of fat on him. This is 35's money year. Don't be shocked to see him light it up.
I liked what I saw last year, and I think the sky's the limit.
Sure.
LA Mom 2020, I'm getting so freaking pumped about this next year of football. Can't wait to see y'all's reports after practices. And absolutely, our Smoky Investment Team practice reports are going to roll tomorrow morning. Hit that subscription button, notification bell. Alumni Hall. Tiger fans, when you want to show your LSU Tiger pride, Alumni Hall is your ultimate shopping experience. The best and largest selection of apparel for the whole family. Nike, Nike Golf, Champion, Columbia, Peter Myler, Southern Tide, hats, Yeti, gifts, and accessories. LSU students, faculty, and military receive 10% off in-store every day, and you can earn cash back with their Hall Pass rewards. Alumni Hall, located in Perkins Row, or anytime at alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall, where Tiger fans shop. And go by their shop in Perkins Row. If there's something you want with an LSU logo on it, they've got it. They've got the greatest selection. They've got the new stuff that comes in. They've got all the baseball jerseys in whatever color you want. You want the white, you want the purple, you want the gold. They've got them. And can't beat their prices either, and their programs at Alumni Hall in Perkins Row. Beautiful
Give
store.
yourself a little time when you go over there. This is not just one of those 5-minute deals. I went over there a couple months ago, and it was like 20 minutes. Now, I had the 2 grandkids, and like I said, they wanted to look, and I mean, you start perusing all the stuff, unbelievable selection. And, oh, by the way, what's Trey Holly and Toviano have in common, Mike? They're both true freshmen, and they're both going to wear number 25. Toviano, I think, is going to be one of the leaders of this LSU football team in the coming years, listed at almost 200, 6'1". He wears 25 on the defense. Trey Holly wearing 25 on the offense, 5'7", 191.
Name all the 25s at running back.
Huh?
Name all the 25s at running back in LSU history.
Well, I know one of them started out.
Justin Vincent.
Yeah, and guess what? Josh Reed started out there and was moved over. But Justin Vincent, man, nobody will ever forget that. JV, we remember that incredible year and your mama and the way you celebrated.
Loved his mama.
That's what makes LSU so special.
Of course, Justin looks like a linebacker now.
But he's a great guy. He's always been a great guy.
Well, yeah, I mean, he had bulked up when he went to the Steelers, and they were trying to have him at fullback.
And look, you know that if he was a player now, he would have had an NIL deal with Leo over at Stabs or Sullivan's or somewhere.
He and Ali Broussard. Ali Broussard has got to be one of the funniest LSU football players in history. Like, Ali Broussard is a guy who needs to have a show like this one. I think he would be a great, talk about hilarious. The stuff he would say in his interviews back in the day.
You remember that day that you and I were waiting after practice? I'll tell it real quick. Ali Broussard is coming out of a meeting. LSU's in a big meeting, and all of a sudden he's coming out, and Mike and I were going like, "What are you doing, Ali?" He's like, "I quit. F it, I quit." Well, what you doing? I'm going to be a rapper. Remember that? What you mean? That coach, he scared me, man. Nick Saban scares me. Of course, if you remember, when he fumbled, Saban made him carry a football to class and all. But the guy, and this is what we talk about, that fine line of holding them to discipline, but he really, for a while there, for a day or two, was going to quit. And, of course, as we know, probably didn't get.
That wasn't as bad because they had Derek Dooley. The problem came when Miles showed up with Larry Porter.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
I don't think there's anybody in the building that liked Larry Porter.
Ali Broussard was a very charismatic guy.
Let's see what we got here. Yeah, Bart says, what y'all hearing about Quincy Wiggins? What you seeing him on the roster?
Quincy Wiggins is at 265. Let me see. I saw that. I think he's still wearing number 90. I want to make sure I get that right.
And Nurse Court shows up at 7:36 and says, almost missed this one tonight.
Well, Court, always
of the
good
7
to have
o'clock.
you on. Look, we always give her plaudits. And I will say that when we get that get-together in football season, I will buy Nurse Court as many shots as she wants. All right, Quincy is listed at 6'6", 265, wearing number 93. He is a redshirt freshman.
Brian Lazar had a really good column this morning, which is 10 questions going into spring football. I mean, that thing's probably 2,000 words or more. Go check that out at TigerBait. I think you'll enjoy that feature. A lot of good questions leading in tomorrow. I think you'll enjoy that read. A lot of recruiting on the website as well. More coming later tonight. And so we got spring football, recruiting in a whole other gear right now. Women's basketball, waiting to find out what their seating in the tournament bracket's going to look like Sunday. Baseball rolling. It's busy.
Gymnastics doing much better, even though
Softball.
they've had injuries. And how about softball? Beth Tarina and the team saw a couple of talking heads questioning about hitting in this year's club, and lo and behold, they're like 20-1. So playing really, really good. Got an incredibly talented left-handed pitcher coming in. I think that, I'm expecting to see them in OKC this year. I really do.
Ooh,
Yep.
okay.
Oklahoma City for Beth Tarina and Lady
That'll
Tigers.
certainly get the naysayers off of her.
Sydney Verson is a really good freshman pitcher. Of course, Allie Kilpoen, been around a long time. She's been outstanding so far.
All right. Nurse Court says, I refuse to acknowledge our men's basketball team until 2024.
Well, Nurse Court, Mike thinks I'm crazy and got into Beano Cook peanut butter. I don't know if I want them to win a game or not. You want to be objective, but watching Missouri, Mike, they're up like 17 or 19 and made 11 threes in the first half. And you go, what happened? How did that just happen? They come back and get lazy and can't make any passes. And that's when Will Wade finally got a little spice and chewed on Adam Miller. But unfortunately, they blew the lead and lose the game. Same thing on the road at Florida. They're up 10 and then get outscored like 20 in the second half. So he's not made a lot of good adjustments at halftime. You hate to judge him too critically now, but he's just got to get more players. I think we got 2 more years before we see him. And the interesting scuttlebutt that Mike and I have been talking about, and a lot of other people, is if Will Wade gets hired by McNeese, will LSU invite them to come play in the PMAC in 24?
I'm wondering if they're already on the
25?
schedule. I'm wondering if they're already on the schedule.
I don't know if basketball schedule's up.
I know they're already. I
I
know for a fact they're on the schedule at ULL.
Yeah, right.
And you guys remember the Bob Marlin, Will Wade deal in the NIT at LSU, and that brouhaha. And of course, the Cajuns are in the big dance.
Yeah.
But that's going to be an interesting game over there in Lafayette. But I haven't been to the. Someone told me today they went to the new McNeese basketball arena, and they say it's very nice.
Yeah.
A little small. It's great for basketball, 4,000. And I'm hearing they're paying a pretty good salary. I don't know if it's accurate, but the number we're hearing for Will Wade could be $1 million, $1.2 million. That's big dollars.
We'll see. Most people
That's
think
twice what Bob Marlin's making with the Cajuns.
Well, look, if you remember, Hugh Freeze couldn't get back into the SEC because of Sankey and obviously had to take some gigs. I think most people feel like similar Will Wade 2 or 3 years.
You LSU fans that live in Southwest Louisiana, if you go to Lake Charles, you think you're going to see some Lamar billboards with boot up? Are they going to use the boot up?
Well, look.
Instead of blue and gold instead of purple and gold?
It'll be interesting, but I will say this. If you're going to miss on the 4 major hires, men's basketball is the one to miss on. Football, we know, clears $60+ million a year. Basketball probably clears $3 million. Baseball clears $1 million or something in that neighborhood. Women's basketball, lost leader product. Obviously, you got to have your ducks in a row with football. And Mike called it. Mike said, Brian Polian, he had heard some rumors and innuendos. It wouldn't be the special teams coach. I know you picked up on this. Brian Kelly said Jancic will be the special teams coordinator, but all of the coaches will have some involvement. And Brad Davis and Denbrock.
We'll see if that works.
Yeah, well, their responsibility is blocking, and everybody knows that was some crazy blocking formations with kicks last year.
Yeah, Kenny Haynes says, Mike, a show right in the middle of baseball? Come on, man. It's 6-1, Kenny. It's Lamar.
Hell, last week he went directly right up against LSU basketball.
Yeah,
this is the last collision for basketball. Now, baseball, we'll see moving forward.
They don't play much on Wednesday.
No,
No. So
Sanford this weekend, 6:30, 6:30, and 1, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. UNO comes to the box next Tuesday, and then the following weekend, which is hard to believe, 9 days, LSU travels to A&M and start the SEC schedule.
absolutely. Michaela Williams, Louisiana Player of the Year. That's an obvious one. And I think when you look at this LSU women's basketball team for next year, what do you think she's going to have? I mean, they're going to be right there again next year. I think that next year's the year that they can beat South Carolina.
Well, and you know Coach Mulkey is going to continue to work feverishly in the transfer portal. Gary Reedus is just a fantastic recruiter for her.
Gary Reedus would be a great recruiter for any men or women's basketball team.
But you're losing LaDasia Williams, who's one of the bigs. You're losing Carson, who's not had her shot. She made 7 threes a couple weeks ago, didn't make any last time out. Obviously, you're losing Alexis Morris at the point guard, but bringing in Michaela, bringing in the 5-star big, bringing in a point guard and another shooting guard, there's no doubt Kim Mulkey will get 3 more forwards and bigs in the transfer portal. They will be loaded.
And she will have a better December schedule.
And Michaela Williams got a great chance to start. She is that good.
John Sibley Butler with a super chat. Big thanks to you, John Sibley Butler. Thanks, guys, for keeping the fan base involved. Go Tigers. Appreciate that super chat. As always, appreciate the support here at TigerBait.com and our YouTube channel.
And look, I apologize, Shark. I'm the one that wanted to go a little earlier. I kind of figured they'd take care of business with baseball, and I wanted to watch the basketball game, which is going to start in the 8:25, 8:30 range. So, look, after this, we should not have any more collision, hopefully without any more baseball, certainly no more basketball.
Holden Lee, Mike, what are y'all's thoughts on LSU finally getting Ahmad Bro? I really like him. You know, he's a 3-star guy right now. Obviously, he's a long, lean guy. To me, is he a guy that's similar to Quincy Wiggins and Savion Jones, where give him a year or two to get bigger and stronger, and he can grow into something? I mean, look, they did their homework. He's well coached at Ruston. That Ruston coaching staff is big time. Kyle Williams over there. You see what they're doing up there. Win a lot of football games. And so you're getting a well-coached kid, and he's a super kid. And I can't wait to see him this upcoming season in person again.
I can't wait to see Jack linebackers and defensive ends as well as cornerbacks tomorrow. Of course, as we know, rebuilding the defense, everybody back on offense except Anthony Bradford, who went pro. I think I saw he weighed 332 at the combine. Remember, he got up to 365. And last year, I think he played at about 345. So he's lost appreciable weight. Wish him the best. Jeray Jenkins, who I think will make an NFL team just because he can play special teams, he catches everything. And then the aforementioned Kayshon Boutte, you think that certainly he could where's your draft spot for him? What round?
Man, when you run like that and your verticals like that, and they start asking, what is he like and what is he, how dedicated was he, and start, doing that stuff, I wonder if he's not a 3rd rounder now.
Yeah, I don't have any idea. I think the pro day with LSU is going to be very important for him.
Any concerns in your mind about the long list of guys who aren't going to practice this spring? The Advocate, of course, with the exclusive with Brian Kelly, Mason Taylor, Goodwin, Charles Turner, Wingo, Chestnut, Jordan Jefferson, and Aaron Anderson, all out, and limited would be Mason Smith and Womack. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of players.
Yeah, but look, would you want to clean it up during the season, or you want to clean it now? I think Brian Kelly did answer it. Now, we didn't hear the voice inflection, but he said this makes perfect sense to take care of this business. Mason Taylor's going to be ready for the fall camp, and we know how good he can be. Aaron Anderson probably needed that work, but he cleaned up that knee. We'll see how quick he can come back. Chestnut, I think, is going to be a guy that's going to be in the mix, Mike, whether he plays nickel or he's a lockdown corner. Oh, by the way, back to Toviano, they listed him as a cornerback. So we will see him, number 25, as one of the cornerbacks tomorrow.
All right, guys. I think that's the show for tonight. We're gonna get Buddy out of here. He wants to get back and get his popcorn and get ready for a Matt McMahon show, and we'll watch a little bit of that and the end of the baseball game. But be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed the show and subscribe, notification bell. Full practice report. Buddy and I will be up on YouTube as soon as practice ends. I'll have a huge video package from practice, photo galleries, and more on TigerBait.com. And try us out for $1. I think you'll enjoy the website. A lot of premium recruiting stuff. And I'm about to go work on something that I hope to have up later tonight in recruiting. So thank you all for tuning in, and see you guys tomorrow. Good night.